Then, instead of anything said about cooperative civility, everyone noticed Rodney's gazing at me was still intense. He said, heads filled with your imagination, Greenway. The room sounds pumped up by your naivete, your obsessions like there's no evil. What about road aggression and abuse of right-of-way? I explained, uncovered evil's root is usually just stupid. Instead of hitting me, Rodney said, making people think about what you say doesn't mean you're smart. Pam said, funny guy, and tried to push Rodney off the bed. Little believe nothing anarchist creep. But Rodney, clinging to the mattress, pushed back from his one against the world position. He said, it is evil that pedestrians are scariest when there's no traffic. Ever sprint down Fifth Avenue through 34th Street without automobile escort? No, because you can't. When it's clear at the Empire State Building, people swarm out of nowhere, making you either the idiot or angry fool. Like there more than anywhere else in the city is theirs. My nightmare is coming down that 3-block hill through the intersection, running a gauntlet of avenging fists that turn into briefcases, smacking my head like playing cards, whacking my spokes. I wake up screaming, knocked off under a moving truck. Rodney practically spit. Attitudes! I hate them. We all have stories. Heard Tim's? He has his own one-man company, just in time. His family turned their backs on him like mine. Complaining about the obvious, drop out of college, get back on the horse. They ride him like mine rode me out of the will. It's easier staying out of their lives. I said, Rodney, and he raised his head. If you were closer to home, you're across the country. Straightening his posture, Rodney said, New York is the big league, and I'm a professional athlete, not errand boy. Hearing that claim, I looked for the twinkle in Cyrus's eyes. This audience had to hear what he'd rehearsed once for me. Ha, Cyrus said. The professional athlete argument is silly. Athletes? No, dude. You don't prepare by stretching for the event and most likely nurse hangovers past noon and no one pays to watch. But Rodney could say, so what? Besides cricket, what sport lasts close to 12 hours, 5 days a week? Precisely, Pam said. A job, you morons. Children play all day long. Jeremy wanted to know who's goofing off, as his hovering brought Jim in between settling whose argument it wasn't. Grumpy, Rodney said. I don't care what people think. It's not for everyone to understand. Forgive them. They don't know what we do. I work a lot harder than my father ever did. Why is what we do not real enough for them? I'm not a bum. Not in a position to be wrong, Pam said, for less money, Rodney. Remember the return on your effort to stay alive? Pam was doing fine, trying not to personalize this with Jim. She said, becoming realistic won't kill you guys. You can't expect families to understand. This non-career dishonors their sacrifices. Her voice rose a register. Cutting to the crux, Mr. Rodney. Your family made your carefree high school hero life possible. Remember fun parties? To them you've made running from responsibility an occupation. So yes, you're an errand boy. Rodney said, bullcrap. I'm living an adventure their roots never allowed them to go for. Pam tried deciding. No, Jim tried deciding. Pam takes it back. She knows the world's true toilers are its backbone. But Jim, she said, you're just what? You're not just, but any little anything isn't someone. Of course everyone's someone, Jim said. And though her mate was right, Pam had to reiterate the obvious. Jim, I'm sorry. It's just a poorly paid, simple task for the effort. That's all. Nothing more. A bottom rung, common laborer's skill, easily executed by hundreds, replacing the quitters every half year or so. You guys in symbolism, you're not Greek myths. You're street scum. Jim definitely loved her, but had to say, you are right, Pam, but you don't have to be so demeaning or mean. Or jealous, I said, as the debate seemed unfairly their disagreement. Pam repeated, "Jealous?" "Yes," I said, despite her glaring at me. "Sometimes you can catch people enviously watch our risky little enterprise, asphalt surfing. Catching the curl between waves of combustion is taking chances most people can't. It's natural to be jealous of what we do." Pam retaliated, not to allow her point lessened. "What are you talking about? Jealous of chances? It's not a career. It's lame. You've done it. Move on. Everyone who wants something for themselves does. This is drifting. Get a real job." "Pam!" "Nowhere, Jim. You should at least get it. We came here to land a better life. How are you up from nothing now?" Jim looked worn and shattered, meaning Pam couldn't be replaced. Though there could always be someone else, there's only one of each of us, so I tried to help. I said, "Pam is right. It's unreasonable to expect families to be satisfied their babies' careers took a downward turn off a cliff." She said, Greenway, all you ever are is sarcastic," and she was right. But then I said, "No, I'm not. Just from other directions like this. I found out Bike Messenger's sacrifice had a champion. Over a century ago, a great man explained our vacation's meaning as part of a great coming age. Heard of Dostoevsky? His name has a lyricism all its own, doesn't it? Dostoevsky." Uh-oh, Jim lobbed. "We need Rob to make fun of you for caring about Russians again." Pam said, "Soviets, dear." And Rodney would criticize. Rob is enjoying the fruits of our labor, so I said he's responsible for the company 24/7. We're not. This morning from that far pillar, he watched me read and left without bothering with a bigger appearance. Then, tight as a chorus in unison, the group chimed our executive's nickname, Mr. Appearance. Rob's father was a liberal professor whose son Rob was in the punk rock band Democratic Identity. Rob was booed off stage for giving a pro-socialist speech while pre-banding the American premiere of The Clash. Our company's founder's next statement was to not let couriers make more money because he can't cover 5 days of work unless messengers need 5 days worth of money. The injury-prone job is handled better working a 4-day week, yet how do you afford doubled-up job reliability at this revenue level? Pam stuck me too. "Right, Greenway, responsibility. Of all people, Rob wasn't a dope long before you idiots. Workers work. If you were meant to have power, you'd already have it. The Berlin Wall fell yesterday, so dawn is now apparent for even you lowly messengers to realize the politics of wealth distribution is over. Now you can concentrate on real compensation and benefits. I know, it's obvious I just want to shame Jim into a real job, but I'm not a politician suggesting we're talking about an issue by only mentioning it. I'm ripping this issue's insides out. So each of you look at your situations. What are you doing? Anything? Hank has the best chance of any of you, but won't sue. Greenway, the guy is rich. Emphasize your relationship with economics. Address wasting your life in this futureless job. Though it was my turn to speak, I raised my hand and said, "It's not entirely true the job is a waste. Without us, this might not feel like the future. Because from Dostoevsky's 19th century vantage in his book Notes from Underground, I read Fyodor's prediction the future perfect world would include those who risk personal injury just to prove they're the individual in charge of our own lives. All this risk the modern world takes is evidence this is already the future utopia Dostoevsky predicts." Pam said, "You need to believe, Greenway, but stop kidding these kids. Even you're not satisfied. With a choice, none of you deadbeats would choose this job. You'd have rich uncles passing on vice presidencies requiring biannual trust fund signatures. No one comes home more exhausted than Jim every night, and in addition, instead of weekends on Long Island or the Jersey Shore, he naps so his eyes are alert on Monday when he tells me he's making what we need. But he'd make more doing what he went to school for. He argues, but he has to agree he can't win. Ask yourselves why a loser would win. The assessment involved Rodney at the woe level. So I interrupted. Wait, hurt is the actual word Dostoevsky uses. We are not just thrill seekers. Isn't our job a point of symbolic pride proving this is, without a doubt, utopia? Then grinning bigger, I said, if only humankind saw themselves when they look right through us in the cross there. Then grinning bigger, I said, if only humankind saw themselves when they look right through us in the crosswalks. Rodney spoke for the masses. You're delusional, Greenway. This is definitely not utopia. The world is messed up. I feigned incredulousness, saying, this ain't utopia. I see. But Rodney believed